if you guys are going to be trying to do Savage Omega and you want to do like proper rolls and stuff like that, my recommended weapons right now, like I mentioned, the heavy bowgun. I don't know how that works in terms of tanking because I do know that gunners take more damage. So I don't know how reliable that's going to be in terms of tanking. It's probably going to require more skill. I've tanked Savage Omega with the gun lance. I've tanked Savage Omega with the sword and shield. And I've tanked Savage Omega with the lance. I haven't really tried Charge Blade, but out of all of those, you know, gun lance, sword and shield, and lance, lance is by far the comfiest one to tank Omega. Now, it is comfiest not just because of the fact that it has low commitment, but also because of the fact that it seems to be easier to get aggro with the lance. Like, I will do more damage with shelling, and I still won't get aggro, and I will just go in there, poke him 3 times, which deals less damage than like a burst strike or a wyvern stake full blast, instantly get aggro. I don't know why that is. Probably has something to do with the mysterious nature of shelling, because there's always something weird about shelling that we can never quite explain how it interacts with all the systems in the game. And, you know, there's been times where I've wyvern fired Omega in the face like 3 times and still not get aggro. But I can go in there, poke him 3 times with the lance, and boom, Bob's your uncle. I don't know if it's got like modifiers on the poking of the lance or what the deal is for the threat generation of Omega. But out of the 3 weapons that I've played against Omega, the one that I would recommend for tanks, lance. By far, in my opinion, lance might be the best. I'm not going to say that it is the best because we're only like, I don't know, 3 days into this fight. So someone might still come up with some hidden tech or some mechanics and some special weapon, whatever. But yeah, that is likely going to be the best one. In terms of damage, weapons for the dealing damage, I think that dual blades are likely going to be the best. I don't really play dual blades, but just again, the animation commitment to damage values that you can do with dual blades, I think you're probably going to shred Omega to pieces if you're going to be using dual blades. If you want to do support, by far and away from all the hunts that I've done, which are quite a few, I've done like probably 30 hours of Omega Savage at this point. By far and away, the comfiest supports that I've had have been hunting horns. Especially, I think people say that is the Rathian hunting horn. I'm not sure because I don't do hunting horns. But whatever is the hunting horn that gives you the buff that turns my health yellow when it's going down, I think it's recovery up L or something like that. The best. So goated. I can just sit in Omega's face, not give a single F about what Omega is doing, and Dude Bro just chilling, giving me the beats, going up to me and being like, here's an echo bubble, big man. And it's like, yes, I'm just sitting there on the echo bubble with the recovery up, with my big shield, and Omega can't even touch me. So hunting horn is the GOAT in terms of support. But the reality is, you don't need to follow these recommendations. Pretty much any weapon can do anything, as far as I'm concerned. Like, for instance, you can tank with a longsword. Probably not going to be super easy unless you're really good at those counters and really good at dodging. Hell, you can probably tank with dual blades if you're really good at doing the dual blades demon mode adept dodge. You can probably do that. Just bear in mind that when you are tanking, you are mostly defensive. You're not meant to be there like hacking away like a maniac. You want to make sure that you keep the aggro for as long as possible. And you do want to get aggro on Omega because otherwise there are certain mechanics that are going to mess you up, like the Merv missiles. Okay, Merv missiles will mess up your whole party if you're not careful. So yeah. Now, let's check out this hunt that I did, and I'm going to give you guys tips as we go along the way. So this is an 18-minute hunt, not our fastest time. The fastest hunt that we done was actually 15 minutes. I am playing the gun lance here. The reason we're all staying back is because Dude Bro doing Dude things. As you guys can see, he's giving us all juicy buffs. As a matter of fact, Dude Bro bugged my my buff bar yesterday, and at a certain point I could no longer see food buff. It was just like a mess. I don't know what happened there, but anyways, we got all buffs. We're going in. So one of the first things that I would recommend is, as you are coming down to Omega, you're gonna whip out your palm thing. What's it called? The Soul of the Pictomancer. Okay, you're gonna whip that out. You want to make sure that you put that onto your bar so that you can check what the cooldown of it is from time to time. But you want to make sure that you have easy access to the soul of the Pictomancer. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that you have to use the Pictomancer at every available opportunity, but that is a plus, especially if you're doing support, because you can do ranged attacks with it. It's very, very good. But even if you are the tank, by the way, I would recommend you do it like this. This is the way that I do it. You want to start off by doing one Pictomancer spell. So we're going to start the hunt. Boom, palm motif, straight up. You see that everybody does, at least me and Ark, we always start like this. And then at this point, if you are the tank, after you do the palm motif, that's when you want to start smacking him in the head, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm whipping out the gun lance, going for the wyvern fire. I'm trying to angle the wyvern fire in a way where it hits the head and hits some of the fists. I failed. I'm going to get hit by the fist. Boom. I usually get hit by the fist, but look at how much little damage it dealt because we are giga buffed by Dude Bro right now. Anyways, going to go in there, get some blocks. But what I want to do is I want to get another wyvern fire to the dome to see if I can secure aggro. Usually this ensures aggro, but just like look at the effort that it is. I'm doing 2 wyvern fires to the dome at the beginning of the fight, and likely I still won't get aggro. With the lance, go in there, poke him 3 times, boom, Bob's your uncle. You get aggro instantly. Now he's doing Mustard Bomb. Now for Mustard Bomb, it will say on the side, by the way, there's a setting which you can do. I'm going to show you guys. Oh God, I lost my lobby. No, it's okay. I'll join later. But there's a setting over here that we can do in the HUD that you guys want to make sure that at least I would recommend you do, which it is party info. You want to change that to large. The reason is party info is your teammates' health. You swap that to large, you will be more aware of how everybody's health is. Now, by default, your party info is also going to be in dynamic. Where is that stuff? There should be one that's... Oh, wait. Yeah, you do large. And then there's another one that would make it dynamic. I forget where that one is. Health gauge display. Yeah, here it is. Health gauge display, I put mine to fixed, but the more important one is your party. There's one for your party settings. God, there's so many friggin' things out here that sometimes I miss where the stuff is. Companion health gauge display. You want to make sure that this one is also fixed, because otherwise it goes dynamic, and then you don't know what their health is like as they're moving areas and whatnot. And this is important. You want to be aware of what your health gauge is, what your teammates' health gauge is. And then the other one is going to be, again, in the HUD settings, chat notifications. You want to put those to large. The reason you want to put those to large is because that is where the notifications come up for the attacks that Omega is going to do. This is very important because you want to be aware of whatever he's doing. So like, for instance, here you can look and you can see, oh, he's doing the Mustard Bomb. Now, when he does Mustard Bomb, you will see that the person that gets the Mustard Bomb gets a little target on top of their head. If we go back here, you will see that Ark has like a little, he had a little icon like right on top of his head besides the thing, and you'll notice that Ark immediately moves away. So whoever gets Mustard Bomb, you need to get the hell out of Dodge. You need to take that far away. You do not drop Mustard Bomb on top of your friends. The reasoning is if you drop Mustard Bomb on top of your friends, the problem isn't even the first hit damage, because the first hit of damage is like a little explosion, actually does a decent chunk. The problem is if you stay on top of that fire chunks. We're talking like friggin' 10%, more than 10% of your health bar per tick. So the moment you step into the fire, that's 10% of your health gone. And if you are stuck in that fire, you are done. So Mustard Bombs need to go away. Now, if you were here during base world Extreme Auth, you might remember one of the spells was Charybdis. And back then, I personally also told people, you get Charybdis, you get the hell out. You leave. You go to the other end of the map. You drop the Charybdis far away. Same thing here. You do not want to drop this fire close to your teammates or in the area that you are fighting. So at least make a reasonable effort. Now, Ark did try, and herein lies the problem of your weapon having high commitment. This is why it's so much harder to tank with a gun lance than with the lance. This is why it's so much harder to play weapons that have high animation commitment on Omega than weapons that have low animation commitment, because Arc was probably stuck doing like a true charge slash or some other type of charge slash that he was doing with the greatsword. So when he got the notification for the mustard bomb, he's stuck in the animation. You can see that he makes an effort to run away, but he wasn't able to do so. And the problem now becomes, I'm trying to get aggro. Omega is turned the other way, and there's fire in the way. So I have to kind of like navigate that with a lot of care. Now, if you are the tank and you're playing a slow weapon like Lance or Gun Lance, you're going to have to go ahead and block a lot of these telegraphs. Other weapons will be able to dodge them. But yeah, if you are the tank, you want to be hitting the head. If you are not the tank, you get the hell away from the head. This is another problem that we have with Monster Hunter, is that a lot of people, they're like, ooh, head, juicy hit zone. I'm going to get my big DPS up. Problem is, Omega has specific mechanics. You hit the head, you get the aggro. The other thing is also, if people are going all over the place, it makes it that much harder for the tank to get aggro. Because guess what? Gun Lance, Lance, these are weapons that don't have excellent mobility. Anybody be like, what do you mean? Lance can go super fast and do like his little shield thing. Omega can go faster. And he can turn on a dime. So yeah, you can kind of like get some mobility with the Lance, but even still, in the beginning, it would actually be ideal, I think, if most people can focus on the front legs, even if it's not the optimal damage for you. Deal damage to the front legs at the very beginning until your tank gets aggro. After your tank gets aggro, go do whatever the hell you want. But until the tank gets aggro, I think it's actually better if people focus on the front legs, because that way the tank can kind of like be in the middle between people, and Omega is going to be facing one direction. Because if you're trying to do the back legs and your tank is trying to get aggro, what's going to happen is Omega turns around and then your tank is like, hup, 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 trying to like get to the front, and then Omega turns around to somebody else, and then tank is like, hup, hup. So it's like, if people are more collapsed at the beginning, it actually makes the tank's life a little bit easier. But you do have to be careful, because you do have to be at least a little bit spread, because those missiles are going to come down, and you don't want to like drop a stack of 4 missiles into one place, because everybody's going to die. So it's kind of tricky. But after the tank gets aggro, hind legs for slash damage, front legs for blunt damage. So if you're a blunt weapon, front legs. If you're a slash weapon, back legs. You will actually deal more damage on a hind leg than on the face. So all of you people that just, I don't care about mechanics, I want big number, hind leg. That's where you get your big number, not the face, the hind leg. That's where you get the big numbers. You're slashing big numbers. If you want big numbers with blunt, front legs. But legs is the most important thing. Another thing, if you are a damage dealer and you spot these little guys coming online, notice one of them is blue. See this one? This one's blue. A little bit more important than the other ones. There's not always going to be a blue one, but whenever you see him deploy the little Omegas, see if you can find a blue one. And if you can, kill it. If you can kill it fast, if you're a DPSer that has high mobility or something like that, and you can, oh, there's a blue one over there. Rush over, kill it. Your tank will kiss you. You'll have your firstborn baby, okay? Because what happens is if you kill that blue one, this one right here, a little shield pops up. And this is actually very hard for the tanks to kill, especially if you're Gun Lance. The Gun Lance has to do shell stepping to try and kill that. The Lance is a little bit easier to kill if you do triangle attack, but killing these with the Gun Lance was annoying as hell, because what happens is these are suicide bots. So they're going to jump in and they're going to explode. Once they get to a certain range, they're going to just jump up to the tank and then they blow up in his face. So if you're a DPSer or if you're the support or whatever, and you see one of those and you see like, oh, I could easily go and kill that real quick. Kill them, shield deploys. It is fan-friggin-tastic. Your tank will thank you immensely. See, I was trying to shell step to get it, but yeah. Whenever Omega does these lasers, one of the things that you want to pay attention to is that immediately after lasers, or even during lasers, notice how there's a wound right here. Now, the tank's not going to be able to get to it immediately, and sometimes the the pushback of the lasers might prevent us from getting it at all. But if you're a DPSer, especially if you're like a dual blades user or a sword and shield, somebody who has like a really fast focus strike, you can just go in there, sneak that wound, boom, that's another shield. Let me see if I don't think I get it. Yeah, I don't get it here because I'm getting swarmed. Like you saw that I wanted to get it, but the little Omegas were just like swarming me and they were pushing me on top of the fire. So I'm focusing on survival. But if you're able to get that wound, that's another shield. Not to mention it's also a knockdown on Omega. Now, important, very important, that wound is not going to always be there. It has like some sort of internal cooldown or something like that. So it doesn't always pop. But usually after lasers, it's a good idea to check. Position yourself in a way where you can land the focus strike immediately when it's safe. And then look if the wound is there. And if, like, see, again, look at the wound. I'm not even trying, cause I was going to try here, but it was way too late, right? But like anybody can go in there and just grab that wound. It's really, really good. Now, if you are the tank, especially if you're playing Gunlance, a big portion of your enmity stage is going to be guarding. You just get your openings where you can, but do not be greedy. Omega will punish all instances of greed. Now, this first phase is usually super easy. This is phase 1. You really don't want to be getting carded in phase 1. That's a really bad sign for your run. It happens often because Omega gets out of control and it's a little bit weird, but yeah. Now, as you are leaving this area, red boy over there, Heat Mantle Bug, make sure to grab that because it refreshes the duration of your heat buff thing. The first person that gets here, so the very first person that jumps in here and gets Omega aggro, they're going to get targeted by Mustard Bomb. Watch. In this case, it's likely going to be Z Mystery. Boom. Mustard Bomb. Instantly. This is usually what happens with most phase transitions. Not always. There is a certain degree of randomness to it. So if you are ahead of the pack when you are coming here, you want to be prepared to take the Mustard Bomb and take it to Narnia. You take that bitch to Narnia far away from everybody else. Now, usually what I like to do in this specific zone is if I'm the first in the pack, I'm going to run this Mustard Bomb. I don't even get out of the Sacred. I run the Mustard Bomb all the way here, and then I blow it up like in a corner here to the left. But what you want to do afterwards, especially if you're the tank, is you get aggro. Try to get aggro as fast as you can because there's a pillar here and there's another pillar behind it. And there's a perfect position to do that. I hope I show it in this run. We'll see. And here is also a good time to get your second palm if you don't want to do too much palm. You saw somebody pop like the Mog of Ages, but you want to get your second palm because you want to store. So the way that the palm works, by the way, this Soul of the Pictomancer thing is first one's the balls dropping, second one's the wind thing, third one's a big laser that deals 1,000 damage. And if you don't want to, if you want to mess with it, you can do this stuff on cooldown and just keep doing it over and over and over. And it's actually really good DPS if you can weave it in between your other abilities. If you are the tank, or if you don't want to mess with it, like I don't like messing with it too much, usually in here is when you want to get your second palm ability off, because then you will have a Mog of Ages ready for the Nurcilla phase, because that's something that you also want to have. You want to have everybody with a Mog of Ages, which is the big laser attack on the Soul of the Pictomancer. You want to have everybody in your party with one of those ready for when Nurcilla comes along. As you can see, I'm going to do mine right now. So that's the second one. Wing Motif. Now, I want to go in and get aggro as fast as possible. By the way, you can basically smack... in here, I'm going to try to get... See, I got that wound, the laser wound that I was talking about. And boom, he's going to break. He's going to drop the shield, or at least he should have dropped the shield, but for some reason he didn't. I guess his aggro kind of like reset or something. But I should be getting aggro after this Mustard Bomb here. Boom, I got aggro. Now pay attention to what I'm going to do, because this is what you want to do as a tank during this phase, because this is one of the deadliest phases for Omega, okay? Phase 2 has been one of the phases where I see a lot of shit go wrong. Obviously, phase 3 and phase 4 are even harder, but phase 2 is a phase that feels like it should be easy, but a lot of shit can go wrong. So after you get his aggro, I'm going to get on my Sacred and I'm going to peace out. And then I'm going to position him below this one. You want to see if you can try and get this guard clash, because he usually charges when you go too far away. Punch him straight in the face. Going to continue getting aggro. I think he actually dances around here. It kind of dicks us over. But you guys get the drill, right? Put him under this, and then somebody else will pull the trigger when he's under it. But as the tank, your job is try to get the position down. Try to get him into position where somebody else can pull the trigger on that thing. I think we actually mess it up here. I mean, we don't mess it up. It's just the nature of Omega RNG. See, he's doing he's literally dancing around the damn thing, and he's messing it up, but you can drop that pillar. Somebody dropped the back pillar because he actually positioned himself in the back pillar. Now, in that back area, there's actually a really good reference point. There's like this thing that looks like a fallen balcony or something that's back there, and the balcony is edged up against the wall. And so if you stay on the right side of that edge as you're looking towards the wall, you kind of like put yourself in that nook where the balcony is there, but you're not on the side of the balcony or on the side of the wall. You put yourself in that nook and Omega follows you there. It's very easy for somebody to drop the other pillar on him. But yeah, these are two of the pillars. Why did I lose audio? Oh, I swapped the audio track. There we go. I'm still trying to get him under the thing. I think we actually miss it. Now, an important thing that I haven't even talked about. When he's going red like this, which he went a while back, that is when he enters Pentacrator mode. I've been explaining stuff from the point of view of the tank, so all you really have to do is hit the head. You don't have to worry too much about other things. But what the rest of the party should be doing when you get aggro is you need to be getting wounds on legs. I think you need to break 3 leg wounds, if I'm not mistaken, but you want to be hitting legs as much as possible and busting wounds, because you want him to leave Pentacrator mode. Because if he stays in Pentacrator mode too long, it becomes harder and harder to deal with. So the objective of everybody else, while the tank is doing his thing, damage the legs. And again, if you are a slashing user, damage the back legs. If you are a blunt user, damage the front legs. And try to focus your attention on the same leg. This isn't like normal monsters, where once you get a wound, you get a wound, then you have to go get a wound somewhere else. No, and here y'all can just focus the same leg, bust that down, get a wound, same leg again, bust it down, get a wound. But the idea is break legs. Wounds should be saved. Okay, so you can kind of like manage wounds, and because every time you get a wound, there's going to be a down. So you want, unless you mean wounds should be saved before Pentacrator, no. Because what happens is when he goes Pentacrator mode, he regenerates all of his wounds. So you have to inflict the wounds after Pentacrator mode activates. So if you get a wound before Pentacrator mode, use it. Use everything because it CCs him down, makes things easier. Basically, you should always be getting wounds. Now, the way that you can optimize wounds is by triggering wounds when he is active. What does that mean? After you trigger a wound, he's going to go down a little bit, and you get some time to deal damage. So you don't want to trigger 2 wounds at exactly the same time, because you can kind of like, okay, I triggered this wound. Let's wait for him to get back up. Now let's trigger this other one. Let's wait for him to get back up. Now let's trigger this other one. That's the way to go. Although in certain situations, particularly like in the final zone, you want to be getting wounds whenever you can, because it's all hell breaks loose there. Now, in here, everything's still going okay. I'm trying to get that thing. I think we actually miss it here because he danced so much around it. But yeah, still same thing. You guys can still see the wound. Ice. Pay attention to when he's doing ice. You do not want to get caught on ice. So if you are a weapon that needs to dodge, you need to dodge. If you are a weapon that can guard, you need to guard. You need to do whatever you need to do. Do not get caught on ice. And if you do, there's going to be a message that you hear where somebody will say, I can't move. And if you hear an NPC say that I can't move and you are not the tank, here's what I want you to do. I want you to sheathe your weapon and use a dust of life. You're like, there's no danger. Use a dust of life. The moment you hear somebody say, I'm stuck, I can't move, dust of life. Doesn't even matter if it doesn't achieve anything, dust of life. Just in case. You will save so many lives this way. You have no idea. The moment you see somebody getting stuck on ice or you hear the call out, dust of life. If you're the tank and you can tell it's pretty safe to sheath right now, you can do it too. But if you're the tank, oftentimes it is not safe to sheath. You need to keep your block up, or you need to pay attention to what the monster is doing, whatever. But basically everybody that can heal, which by the way, Dust of Life, literally the most important item you can bring to this quest. Not even exaggerating. People are like, oh, we need a dedicated support. We need a dedicated this. You don't need dedicated healers, but you absolutely need everybody to bring 2 Dusts of Life. You also get 2 easy Dusts of Life on your Sacred Pouch at the start of the quest. And you can take 10 Gloamgrass Buds as well as 10 Godbug Essences, and then you can craft Dusts of Life on the go, which gives you a total usage of 12 Dusts of Life per hunt. There is no excuse for you not to heal a teammate when he is in danger. Another thing, when the tank is tanking, you also need to be paying attention because the tank doesn't get the privilege often of sheathing his weapon to heal. So if you see the tank going below 70% health and you notice that Omega's just like still pounding him into the ground, it's also a good idea to sheath your weapon and pop a Dust of Life. So pay attention to this because, and people are like, I don't want to be doing all that. Okay, then you don't want to be clearing Omega Savage if you don't want to be doing all that. Keep that in mind. Omega doing his flying shenanigans. Tank keeps doing his thing. He's still avoiding the pillar. And I think at this point, I forget if I gave up or what the deal is, but I'm still trying to get him to come here. But he's just not doing it. He's just not coming under the pillar. Usually you'll be able to get that pillar fairly easy. This is just one of those situations where his AI got super fucky. Now you'll notice what happened here is I lost aggro. This is one of the most dangerous moments of the hunt. Your tank loses aggro, your tank needs to get aggro back, and everybody is all over the place. Like, see what the problem is right now? Arc is over here, Velvet is over here, and Z Mystery is somewhere over there because he's got the mustard bomb, right? What do I have to do? I need to get in Omega's face, and I need to deal damage to Omega's face. But because people are all the way up in Narnia, Omega's about to go like, ha, 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 like turning on all kinds of different directions, and I'm not going to be able to get his face. See, he's going to turn to Arc, going to do some bullshit, and the reason I'm attacking from behind, by the way, is because if I keep pushing the Wormstake Blast, I eventually can get to the face. Like, this Wyvern Fire does hit the face because it goes through the whole body and ends up hitting the face. I've gotten aggro multiple times from behind. You guys are like, you're not attacking from the front. Yeah, I don't have to. And here we're getting a wound because it's CC. And I'm trying, notice how I angled it in a way where I go from the focus strike on the wound and I swap to the head to drop the Wyvern Fire on the head. These are little tricks that you can do as well. You know, if you can go from triggering a wound and then angling yourself to deal damage to the head as the tank, that's something that you want to do. Every single time that you can get head damage, that is something that you definitely want to do. Okay, big laser. This is another thing. You see another player being hit by the big laser, you sheath your weapon and you do a Dust of Life. I actually didn't do the right thing here because Arc got hit. But the reason I didn't do the right thing is because I'm setting up a different play. I'm seeing if after this laser, he's going to have that wound because that will be even more valuable. So I'm counting on other people to heal Arc. But that is the play. Arc got hit by the laser. He got hit real bad. And what you want to do is you want to heal him because there's a chance that he has Moxie because a lot of people are using the Gut set from the Arc Tempered Monsters. And that Gut set gives you Moxie. So if you get a big blast laser in the face, you're not going to instantly die. But you will die if you get back up mid-animation or if you land in fire or something else like that happens, which is why you want to heal people when this stuff happens. Like, look, there's even fire over there. He could have been in that fire. See, I was making the play for this, and this is why I didn't heal Arc. Because I wanted to get the shields, and I wanted to get aggro, because this will likely allow me to get aggro off of Omega right now. There it is. I got aggro again. Everything's hunky-dory. We got wounds, popping wounds, and having good times. And somebody dropped the rock on him as well, and I guess we did land that rock after all. I didn't even notice that we had landed that rock. Yeah, things continue. I'm dealing damage to the head. If you can spare some damage to legs, even when you have aggro, that is also very useful. Omega about the switch phases, you can tell that he's going to do it because stuff goes white. Now, At this point of the fight, this is when you guys want to ask yourselves, how many resources have we used? Do we need to restock? Because depending on the efficiency of your team, you might have used too many resources at this point. This is the perfect time. Go back and restock if you need to. You don't have to, but it is something to consider. You're playing with a team. Usually people will be able to see if somebody's, lagging behind, whatever. But, there's also a Wiggly Lich over there that you should pick up because it'll give you stamina regeneration bonus. And here's same deal as I told you before. You're swapping transitions. First person that gets in, boom, mustard bomb. Just like Ark. You can see that Ark came in, grabbed the mustard bomb. He's already taking it to Narnia. Very good play. And now we can keep fighting Omega over here, just big time chilling. Big laser. I'm not going to get the wound this time because, it's not going to be there. I'm still trying to see if it will show up. It's not trying to get aggro on the head, but, basically the fight just repeats itself at this point. These fists, I haven't mentioned it yet, but any attack that you hit on them will just explode them, so don't even worry about it. Or you tank them with your face. You can also perfect guard them, etc., etc. But yeah. Lardboard Cannon. Now, you guys have likely seen Lardboard Cannon and Starboard Cannon at this point, and you guys are like, oh, which one's left, which one's right? And I'm going to be real. I have no idea which one's left and which one's right. Why? When he does Starboard or Lardboard, just assume he's going to hit you. It's the easiest thing to do. Rather than have it, but Omega is facing west, so therefore the attack is going to come in this direction, and if he's facing east, then he's gonna, and when the full moon is full, is like, oh, is he gonna hit me this time? Your brain's doing like all of this math. It's like, no, brother. Assume the cannon is going to hit you. It's real easy that way. So whenever he warns it over here, you block. And if you're a weapon that needs to dodge, use Superman dive. Takes all the complication away from, oh, is it a starboard? Is it a lardboard? Is it a... Doesn't matter. Assume you're going to get hit and act accordingly. Either Superman dive or block or whatever it is that you need to do to survive it. Just assume you're going to get hit. It's the easiest way of dealing with starboard, lardboard, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, at this stage, which we call phase 3 because it's the third time that he moves locations, he's not just going to do starboard and lardboard wave cannon. He's going to do them in surge. That means twice. So that's even a higher chance of you getting hit because he's just going to cover the whole arena anyways. It's just going to do it halfway at a time. So keep that in mind. Pay attention. Deal with it accordingly. Drop stuff on him in here. Always useful. If his face looks like that, there's a face wound. Bust the face wound. Preferably let the tank do it because that is a surefire way of grabbing aggro. You also get a shield every time you bust face wounds, which is very, very useful. Very important mechanic just showed up. I hadn't even noticed that we had gotten it. Look at your buff bar. This thing looks a little bit different. As a matter of fact, if you play Final Fantasy XIV, you will be very familiar with this icon because I bet all of you bastards have seen it 1,000 times over because y'all suck at rating. I'm joking. But this is a penalty in Final Fantasy XIV. What is this doing? It is lowering your maximum HP. The reason you need to pay attention to this is because depending on how effective your team is, you're going to be seeing more and more of this. This is a stacking debuff. So what happens with the debuff lowers your maximum HP. You can keep tanking just fine like this. Just be aware that, the hits that really hurt are going to feel like they really, really hurt now because there's less HP to go around. Now, the problem with this is right now I still don't have aggro. So if nobody has aggro, don't worry about it. You can safely ignore it. Just continue playing as normal. However, if the tank gets this debuff and he gets aggro, debuff's not going away. That debuff is staying until either the phase shifts or something else happens. So the situation here is if your team does enough damage, you do not have to worry about, dealing with this debuff too much because you're going to just power through it and eventually it goes away when he switches phases. If your damage is a little bit on the lower side, the tank will likely get another stack of this debuff and that will literally halve his HP. And when you have the person that is supposed to be taking the most damage at half health, that becomes a problem. So if you notice that, okay, our DPS is not really on point, Whoever is the next most defensive person needs to get in there and take aggro from the tank. Again, this is only if the tank has aggro. Okay? So in this case, it could either be Velvet or Arc because both of them can block. They have great swords, so they can block. Any of them can go over there, start smacking Omega in the head if the tank has aggro. In this case, I don't have aggro, so you don't really have to do anything. This position that you see right here is another telltale sign that you will learn as you do more and more of this hunt, which is, it is the charge position. Let me just show it to you guys. See how he's going to turn to me? He opens up these things. And what does that mean? That means that he is about to charge right at you. If you can block it, block it. Oftentimes, it will result in a power clash. If you can't block it, get the fuck out of the way. You know, Superman dive, do whatever you got to do. Usually, these come in twos at this stage. So it'll be one charge, then it'll turn around, do another one. And in the next one, they'll come in threes. So it'll be charge, turn around, charge, turn around, charge. So keep that in mind and be prepared for when it happens. So in here, I'm going to try blocking. He's going to turn around. Okay, this time he didn't do a 2 charge. Often he does. Another thing, this shield can block the other stacking debuffs that he does. So if you're inside the shield, you will never get another stacking debuff. So right now, we're actually in a really safe point. But if I didn't have this shield, and I'm sorry about my dog barking in the background. She's real excited. She also wants to come in and kill Omega, but she doesn't have opposable thumbs, so that makes it very hard. But anyway, as I was saying, if you do not have this shield at this point, on account of the fact that I have aggro, somebody else needs to go and take aggro. Because I have the shield, we're still relatively safe, so we don't have to worry. So just continue as usual. Tank deals damage to face or legs. If you can afford to hit legs here and there, do it. See how the shield blocked that attack right there? That's the tanking debuff. You can't block the tanking debuff. You can't do anything to stop it. Oh, damn, that's really far away. I didn't mean to go that far. But I'll show you guys the attack right now. He's going to jump on me. Going to throw a missile. And now watch. He's going to be forming the ball. See that ball forming? That right there is the tanking debuff ball. You do not want to get hit by that. Nobody wants to get hit by that. If you're under a shield, you're not going to get hit by it. The shield's going to block it. See? Shield blocked it. Breaks the shield a little bit, but, you know, if you want to make an omelet, you got to crack some eggs. No shield. So at this point, I have aggro. There's no shield. Arc and Velvet, one of them should be coming in to try and take aggro away from me. Because if I get 2 stacks of that debuff, I'm kind of cooked. I forget if I actually get 2 of them this time around or not. But yeah, you want to relieve your tank if he doesn't have a shield and if he is still getting aggro. But we went into Delta attack. Very important thing. This is likely the thing that will end most teams. This phase right here. Delta mode. The Delta attack is the DPS check, which is the thing that so many people in the Monster Hunter community absolutely hate. People in general do not like DPS checks. They want to take their time killing things. You don't have your time to kill things here. This is go time. All the big buffs that you have, all the big things that you can do, all the tricks that you can pull out. This is the time to do it. Now, very important thing. If you happen to be playing an elemental damage weapon, you likely will be playing thunder damage throughout the fight. I want you to bring a pocket fire weapon for the fight. So your main weapon will be thunder when you're fighting Omega, and then when you get to this phase, you swap to the fire weapon. Because what is going to happen is because Nurcilla has the coating of Gypsyros, Nurcilla is going to be, I don't know if she's invulnerable to lightning damage, but basically you don't deal a ton of lightning damage against Nurcilla. So at this point, you want to have a fire weapon. So you're going to swap from the thunder weapon to the fire weapon, and then you can continue the fight. Now, after that, use all the tricks. So if you have special mantles, now's the time to do it. When Nurcilla spawns, notice how I have my Mog of Ages sitting here waiting, looking pretty. First thing you do, everybody Mog of Ages Nurcilla in the face. That's going to be 4,000 damage straight to the dome from the get-go to get that damage going. You want to make sure that you get aggro as fast as possible. Now, a very dangerous thing in this phase is actually Rocksteady Mantle. I'm not sure I'd recommend it. I'm still struggling to figure out if I want to do Rocksteady Mantle. Why? Nurcilla has a couple of different versions of the laser that she does. There's a laser that spins around, there's a laser that shoots a beam at you, and there's a laser that shoots at the ground. The ground laser will murder anyone through anything. There's no tanking the ground laser. There's no doing nothing to the ground laser other than getting out of the way or dying. And that is why Rocksteady is very, very dangerous. If you are not confident that you can avoid that ground laser 100% of the time, bring the regen mantle or bring some other mantle. I don't know. But Rocksteady, super, super dangerous in this phase. And I know I say this as my ass is getting ready to equip Rocksteady Mantle. Look at that. Beautiful. I might actually die here. I'm not sure if I do or not. Again, remember how I told you about the blue boys at the start of this video? Look, there's one right there. If you are a DPSer, if you are someone that can take one of these boys out real fast before they suicide into you, please do. Especially if you have a ranged weapon. Your tanks will love you. Everybody in your party will love you. Bust this little dude down as fast as you can. Now, there are more things. I don't know exactly how you attract the more balls to you. I usually just trigger whatever happens to be close to Nurcilla. But using the more balls, very, very useful. Because more balls will go up the whatever location you're at, and there's like, blah! They vomit on you, they poison you, they paralyze you, they stench you. They do all the debuffs, which is pretty much what more balls do in Final Fantasy XIV. So, very useful. The other one is cactuars. There's also cactuars around here. Little cacti dude looking like this. You get those cactuars if they're close enough to Nurcilla, pop them. They're going to be dealing tons and tons of damage. Oh, actually, it says here, when struck, they pursue the target for a while, exhaling bag breath, which inflicts a multitude of status ailments. So actually just activate the Moorball seedlings, try to bring them over to Nurcilla. That's the actual... Can't believe I never actually read that, because I'm a boomer. I'm old, I get sensory overload, and I just want to kill Nurcilla real fast. As you can see, everybody doing Mog of Ages, just like I said. Notice everybody just shooting their big laser beams. Bzz, 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 bzz. So this is the first part of the phase. After that, everybody just Mog Nurcilla. Notice how there's a cactuar right there, so I'm trying to trigger it. Cactuar triggered, dealing tons of damage, real good. We do have somebody popping heals. You got to be careful. Pay attention to your heals. There's the laser. That's the spinning one, so it's not too dangerous. Still deals a ton of damage, so do be careful. Everybody just dealing all the damage they can to Nurcilla, busting her open as fast as you possibly can. I got aggro. Getting enmity on Nurcilla also very useful, because guess what? If you don't get enmity on Nurcilla real fast, Nurcilla is on crack cocaine, okay? And I'm not talking about she just took a little bump. No, I'm talking like she ate the whole goddamn brick. Okay? Through her nose, she did like a booty bump. Bro, she did it 6 ways from Sunday. She's got all that crack cocaine energy, and she washed it down with about 10 Monster Energy drinks. Okay? And a couple of 5 hours as well. That's what she did. So she is just like jumping all over the place, doing AoEs, doing lasers, doing all the things. She's going crazy. So if you don't get enmity, you're going to have a really bad time. Another thing, if your group is struggling, there's a pillar you can drop. It's very hard to get Nurcilla there to drop the pillar, but that's a strategy that you can explore because, you want to play with your friends and maybe some of them aren't up to snuff on damage or something like that. Bring Nurcilla, try to practice bringing Nurcilla over to the pillar, dropping the pillar on her, even though that's not the most optimal way of doing things because, as you see, we're going to drop the pillar on Omega as soon as this phase is done. So again, just follow Nurcilla, be careful, don't die, deal damage, deal as much damage as you possibly can. I'm actually fumbling here like a madman. I'm not dealing that much damage, but the rest of the team is going ham, and I have enmity. There's the laser. That's the spinning laser. Luckily, we didn't get a lot of ground lasers this time, so I kind of feel like we were lucky, but yeah. Velvet also got enmity now. The important thing is somebody needs to have enmity. Boom. That's the ground laser. See that right there? If Rocksteady was active when she did that, you're dead. No matter who you are, you're dead. Nothing you can do to stop it. You're going to die. And you guys are like, oh, but I have guts. Doesn't matter because it's a multi-hit. So it'll hit you and then dead. No guts. No nothing. Nothing saves you. You're dead. It's that simple. That right there, by the way, was Arc exhibiting a tremendous amount of skill, which is something that obviously doesn't happen all that often, so we need to show it off. So, like, look at that. Look at what happens there. Nurcilla about to do shenanigans. She's going to jump. Wait, she does the laser. Now she's going to jump, and look at Arc. She jumps. Arc goes in there, offsets the jump. Bop! He offsets the Nurcilla jump like a goddamn Giga Chad. What a bro. Boom, done. By the way, when you're waiting for this part of the fight, this is one of the best times to refresh your hot drink to make sure that you don't run out. You can also do like palm things if you want. The Soul the Pictomancer shenanigans if you want to do more. That's also a pretty good time to do it. And then here, when you guys are done, you guys didn't see it, but I think it was Arc. He already pulled. There's a pillar off to our left. You can pull the pillar every time. If you're close enough to Omega, just pull the pillar and it's going to drop on Omega. Boom, like that, 3,000 damage. You can even pull the other one because there's another one up above him that you can pull down right now and it will also drop and deal a ton of damage. But again, at this point, everything repeats. So if you get Mustard Bomb, move away. Tank, hit face. Everybody else, hit legs. But again, one of the suggestions that I do have, do try to go for that front legs to make it a little bit easier on the tank getting aggro. As you see, we dropped the other one right now. Keep near the shield. Nurcilla's shield, very important. This shield that Nurcilla does when she dies, that you use to survive the Delta attack, does not go away. So, if you can keep tanking him on the Nurcilla shield, you're going to have an easy time. So everybody try to position in a way that allows the tank to be around the Nurcilla shield, and this part of the fight is going to be giga easy. Because this shield doesn't break. This shield just stays. You can see that it's got like the red chains around it. That's how you identify it. But yeah, so I grabbed aggro here. So this is just like a free win until the next phase, pretty much. There's nothing really that Omega can do. Everybody's just popping wounds. I'm just dancing in front of him, trying to do Wyvern Stake Full Blast, trying to do shenanigans. Boom, we busted him. And by the way, when you bust him like this, he's going to drop one of these. This is a shield generator slinger ammo. So you can pick that up, and that gives you a shield generator that you can drop into the ground whenever it is needed. So whoever happens to be the most responsible player of your team should take that and use it on the appropriate part in the next phase. I think one of the best hit zones of Omega at this point is the little periscope that he's got going here. So if you're a DPSer, that's probably what you want to be hitting. Just remember, don't hit the head. Otherwise, you might take aggro away from the tank. Otherwise, proceed as usual. Omega is now shifting to the final transition. Once again, this right here is a good point to evaluate where are we at with our consumables. Are we good? Are we bad? Do not instantly jump down. When you get here, do not instantly jump down. I jumped down because I saw that somebody else had jumped down, or no? No, I jumped down like an... Okay, so do as I say, don't do as I do. The reason I jumped down is because I asked Arc, is everybody here? Is anybody going to, restock? And he's like, no, we're all stocked up. And then I jumped down. So there was communication here, okay? There was communication, but if you don't have communication, hold, don't instantly jump down. Make sure that everybody is there before you jump down. Because while we were running there, I was already asking, hey, are we good? We're going to jump down? Yeah, let's jump down. So, again, we were on comms, so it's important. It's not Arc's fault. We communicated this was planned. There was nothing wrong. So eventually, jump back down after everybody restocks, does whatever they got to do. Jump back down. Bob's your uncle. This is the hardest phase. Now I already fucked it up because I wanted to... See, the thing here is, as I was coming down, I saw that the face was wounded. Right? I'm coming down. I'm looking at the face. There's a wound there. The thing is, my noob ass didn't notice, oh, there's a wound, but he's regenerating it. So in my head, I see, oh, he's doing mustard bomb, but there's a wound in the face. I'm going to interrupt mustard bomb with a focus strike. But he's regenerating the wound in the face. So there's no wound in the face. The wound is a lie, like the cake in Portal. This wound is a lie, designed to deceive me, so that I get hit with mustard bomb in the face. So this was terrible. I get hit with a mustard bomb, I put a flame right in the middle of the arena, and I got literally nothing out of it. Real bad. You don't want to be doing that. Notice here, I see the laser. I know it's not targeting me. I don't even know who it's targeting. I'm popping the Dust of Life because there's no chance of getting there in time for the wound. So, whatever. That's what you should be doing, just like I said. In there was a charge. I was committed to the focus strike animation, so I had to fumble it. It is what it is. Boom. Pentacrator mode. This is Pentacrator mode phase 4. This is one of the most dangerous moments of the fight. You want your tank to get aggro as fast as possible, because otherwise he's going to Merv bomb y'all to death. We haven't actually seen Merv bombs, which is really bad, because Merv bombs can happen earlier, and the fact that we haven't seen them yet means that you guys won't know exactly what to do with Merv bombs. But I do think we see Merv bombs later, and I'll be able to explain that mechanic. Because Merv bombs can happen in... After phase 1, Merv bombs can happen at any time. And Merv bombs is another run ender. So I'm just sitting here trying to get aggro while everybody's doing leg damage. Gonna do another Wyvern Fire. Like, do you see how hard it is to get aggro with Gunlance, bro? I just did 800 damage to his face. I can easily get aggro with like 3 pokes that deal like 180 damage. I just did 800 shelling damage to Omega's face, and I didn't get aggro. Like, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. And that's why I think that Lance is much better for tanking this than Gunlance. So he's going to be way more aggressive in here. It's going to be way more chaotic. I thought he was going to do a charge. He's actually doing... is this Merv? No. This is just a little volley. Ark's about to get hit with the laser. I'm probably going to pop... I was looking for something to drop. There's nothing there. Arc wasn't taking damage, so I didn't even try. I tried going for the wound. There was no wound there, or I was too late. I finally get aggro, and I'm on top of fire, and I get the tank debuff. So, we actually get him down, so not a whole lot of danger. You can just proceed as usual. However, do bear in mind, at this point, I have a tanking debuff. I have aggro. There are no shields, therefore... anybody that can off-tank should be preparing to hit Omega in the face to take aggro away from me to ensure that I'm not going to get absolutely mauled when Omega gets back up. Naturally, nobody did that, and now I have 2 tanking debuffs, and look at how big my health pool is. That's amazing. So in here, I'm probably screaming obscenities at Ark and everybody that is playing with us like, get my aggro, what are you doing? And I was like, guys, I'm scared. Hold my hand. Make him stop. So at this point, I'm just waiting for an opening to pop my Sacred. People are popping heals on me to make sure that I don't die. I shot the shield to make sure that I don't get a third thing. You guys remember that I picked up the shield in the previous one? And now that I'm in the shield, I'm relatively safe. And I'm just asking, Ark, can you please, for the love of all that is holy? And Ark's like, nope, not doing it, bye. And he just leaves. You saw him leave. You saw him just ditch me and leave me there to fend for myself with literally half my HP on fire, and he fires another tank debuff. But luckily, Z Mystery was on the job. You saw? Z Mystery appreciates me. Z Mystery's like, we're kind of about to get fucking mauled over here, and he shot another shield to make sure that I wasn't going to die. He's also hitting Omega in the head, trying to draw aggro from me because he realizes that Ark doesn't give a fuck about my survivability right now. He realizes that Ark isn't really making this a big priority. So he's going in there and he's trying to get some aggro, but it's hard to be doing do things and at the same time getting aggro. So I still have aggro. The other shield's about to pop, and I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And things are about to be really, really bad. So I'm gonna get hit by that, and I'm gonna call in my Sacred, I think. Or at least I should have called my Sacred. No, I'm still just being the Giga Chad, tanking this thing with half my HP. And big laser coming in, and I'm just like, can I get a heal? Please, thank you. And at this point, I'm like, okay, guys, Merv Missile. Luckily, they destroyed a wound, and I lost aggro, and everything is saved. Thank God. So wait, we didn't get a Merv Missile at all? That sucks. I don't get to explain Merv Missiles. Basically, Merv Missiles is something that he does. You will see a message pop up here. He was about to do it before they interrupted him with a wound pop here. You guys will see it, because I think I mount my Sacred now, right? Yep, I'm mounting Sacred. Look, Omega Planetes uses MRV Missile. When you see this, this is very dangerous, especially because just now I lost aggro. And this, I almost feel like, is a glitch in the fight. I feel like what happened right here shouldn't happen. This isn't the nerf that I'm asking for. This just feels like something that is a little bit unfair. So here's how Merv Missiles work. If you have aggro, only the tank gets targeted for the Merv Missile Barrage. So the Merv Missile Barrage is just a non-stop barrage of missiles. Like you'll shoot, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 missiles in a row with very little time to recover. And it just goes bam, 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 big explosion, big explosion, big explosion. And if only one person has to deal with that, because if you have aggro, all the missiles go to you, it is much easier. If you don't have aggro, the punishment, because I feel like it is a punishment of this mechanic, your whole party gets Merv missiled. And when your whole party gets Merv missiled, y'all either do your best to avoid all the damage, jump on your Sacred, pray to God, you know, do whatever, or you're going to die, because it's just like missiles dropping literally on everybody nonstop, a barrage of 6, 7, 8 missiles, and you have very little time to recover from those. So a couple of things that you can do when you get targeted by Merv Missile. If you are a tank, you can usually block the whole thing, but you need to stop blocking in between missile drops. So you need to make sure that your stamina is as high as it possibly can be before the Merv Missile Barrage starts. Then when the Missile Barrage starts, you go block, shield down, block, shield down, block, shield down. And if you are full health, you'll be fine. If you're not full health, you're going to die. So the other thing that you can do is you try to call your Sacred, even if you have to block, keep calling your Sacred. So you're going to be alternating blocks and calling for Sacred, and eventually the Sacred might pick you up. And if the Sacred picks you up, just run the fuck away. Just run away with all the Merv missiles and shit, and just avoid it with Sacred, because you will miss every time if you're just running around in Sacred. But that's what you got to do. You can't really Superman dive all of them. At least I haven't been able to. I've tried a bunch of times, haven't been able to. So Sacred is the most reliable thing to do. Get on your Sacred, get the fuck out of dodge. Try not to drop missiles on top of other players. Do your thing. It is what it is. But, yeah. See, that's why I was running, because I saw the Merv missiles message, and I was like, okay, time to run. I have no health. I have nothing. So the debuff drops. I'm back to trying to get aggro again. Everybody punishing legs, punishing the down that we just got. Fantastic job. And here I was moving away, but I just really wanted to get rock steady. We have a mustard bomb. There's a wound in the face. You really want to be busting that wound as fast as you can. It's just goddamn the recovery animation. We also have another shield drop there. So I think that's what Z Mystery was trying to get. I'm mostly concerned about that face wound. I'm trying to see if I can get to it. Actually, in here, I think I was trying to get this shield thing. But Omega is giving us, like, no breaks. Velvet gets targeted, and I'm like, okay, time to get this shield. I see people are getting really low. I shoot the shield, and I'm like, guys, there's a shield here. But this is when Omega got really personal against Velvet here. I don't know what happened, but look at what is happening here. He's just like, charge, and charge, and charge again. But he's not done. Like, look at this. Omega's like, is he dead? Is he really dead? Fuck him. He's going to shoot some missiles, and then he's going to turn around after he's done shooting missiles. This is the MRV, by the way. We just used the shield to survive the MRV this time. Everybody's getting targeted by missiles, so me and Mystery are hanging out back here, and Ark is probably, like, doing laps in the back with his Sacred. So at this point, I'm trying to get to him, but he's like, die! Die! He shot a mustard bomb at Velvet's corpse. And now he's doing what is the tantrum. See, this animation that he did right here, this is something that can also happen in phase 2, but I don't think it can happen in phase 3. At least I don't think I've seen it in phase 3. But it can happen in phase 2. Let me just back a little bit here. Pay attention to the animation that's about to happen right now. Pay attention to this animation. This is the tell. See, he starts going like, this. I call this baby rage. People call it tantrum, rampage, whatever you want to call it. But whenever this happens, here's what you do. You call your sacred and you run in the opposite direction. Okay? Because this is one of the most unpredictable. He just like jumps haphazardly all over the place, dropping bombs, dropping nukes, big AoEs, big slams, big everything. You just jump on your sacred, get the fuck out. You just get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of Dodge as fast as you possibly can. Like, look at how far away I am. And now the other thing is, do be wary of your teammates because they might get caught in the crossfire when they're trying to move away. This is why I'm backing up. I'm backing up to make sure that people take damage, that people not take damage. Because if people take damage, you might need to do Dust of Life on the run. So keep that in mind. It's important to run away. It's also important to make sure that nobody in your team dies while you're all running away. So if you get clear, you have to go back and make sure that everybody else gets clear. There's a chance that you might get caught, but at the same time, there's a chance you might be able to save somebody that does get caught. So always circle back around from a safe distance. Make sure that your team is clear as well. This is a team effort. I cannot emphasize that enough. There is no I in team, gentlemen. He's doing his triple charge. I'm trying to block to see if I get a power clash. Didn't really work out. Usually if you want to do that, you want to shoot for perfect guards. 3 people are going absolutely ballistic for that laser. I was way too slow on that Dust of Life. This was late, okay? It was late when we were doing this, so that's my excuse. There's also a very hard thing to deal with. He does like a sequence of 3 or 4 of these lasers with missiles on top of it. So keep that in mind. Try to block, use your stamina wisely, etc., etc. And this is the perfect time for your team. If you see Omega doing shit like this, which he doesn't just do it in the 4th phase, sometimes he does it in the 2nd or 3rd phase, where it's just like a barrage of laser, missile, laser, missile, laser, missile. There's very little time for the tank to do anything. This is when you want to pull out your Dust of Life and you save your tanks. Another charge, and a laser. Like, you see how vicious that combo is? It's like a sequence of 3 or 4 laser into missiles, into charge, into big laser. So if your tank is not healthy, he's fucked. And in this case, I was pretty healthy, but notice that, ooh, that's kind of small. That stamina not looking too healthy. I'm going to get hit, which is why it's important that your tank is topped off when this happens. Because even though I did the best possible use of my stamina that I could, I still ran out of stamina. And now I'm going to pay for it. Watch. Bop! Look at how much damage that did. Look at how much damage that did. Now, I wouldn't have died because I have guts. I wouldn't have died. But if my health was here, you're cooked. Luckily, my health was here, so I wouldn't have died. And after the laser, he follows up with another set of charges. Like, this was personal, okay? Omega just wanted my ass. And now comes the MIRV missiles. You actually get to see proper MIRV missiles. I think I'm gonna go for I went for the sacred. See, notice how everybody's running around. There's rockets everywhere. Velvet is trying to do Superman dives. He's gonna get hit 100%. See, boom, got hit. You can't Superman dive out of it. You can Superman dive one, but you're gonna get hit by the second one, which is why sacred is the way to go. Even if you get hit while sacred is ferrying you off, hopefully you'll have enough health to survive, but it is worth taking that first hit to hop on a sacred so that you don't take any more hits. So now we're all just like running laps with the MRVs. Velvet's getting pelted, and I'm just like doing Dust of Life, making sure he's not going to die. I'm going to position this right on top of the other fires so that when Omega leaves there, all the fires out the way. Remember what I told you at the beginning of the fight. Position those fires accordingly. Baby Rage, Tantrum Mode, what did I tell you to do? Get on your Sacred, get the fuck out of Dodge. Notice Velvet is a little bit out of position there. This is why, boom, Dust of Life. Z Mystery getting pelted, Arc getting pelted, Dust of Life. Dust of Life. You just mash that. You make sure that you get yourself safe, but once you're clear, you make sure that you go back and your team is cleared as well. You don't be a selfish little bitch and be like, I got out, fuck you guys. This is one of the most, maybe the most team-oriented Monster Hunter, mainline Monster Hunter fight ever. If you do not look out for your team, you're going to lose. And this is why oftentimes I see people saying, it's too hard, I can't do it. It's like, did you heal your teammates? Did you even try? Oh, it's everybody else's fault. Did you bring Dust of Life? Oh. It's not just about you surviving. You can't use this thing that some people say, well, I didn't cart. It's like, yeah, but did you make sure that everybody else didn't cart? It's not just about you not carting. It's about you making sure that nobody else carts either. And anybody can use Dust of Life. You do not need a hunting horn. You do not need a sword and shield. You do not need wide range. You do not need anything. You just have Dust of Life. You use it. How do I heal my teammates if they get one shot? Most people don't usually get one shot. Let's be real. But yeah. If you go through that, eventually you get to this screen and you win. And then you get to do it like 8 more times before you get the rest of your rewards. But that's the Rurikon extremely long Savage Omega guide.